Lap record here, Nelson Piquet, 1 minute 20.79. So it means to say that Senna, after 18 laps in a non-qualifying session, has beaten the lap record, but you would expect him to do that if it's going to happen at all, because things are quicker in a practice session. They don't have a full fuel load on. But nevertheless, I'm pretty confident that this afternoon, the pole position of Nigel Mansell, 1 minute 18.4 last year, is going to be beaten. And that is Alex Caffi's car, the Osella, which I'm sorry to say is famed for its unreliability, and here's what's happened.
It's a turbocharger that's blown. The car came along, suddenly the turbo blew, the white smoke came out, the turbo spills its oil on its red-hot turbocharger and usually catches fire. The fire marshals, and he knows immediately, so the clever young man that he is, he immediately gets out, and the fire is now really caught, and it's not in fact being put out too well. Where are these fire marshals? There doesn't seem to be anybody on hand on that side of the racetrack.
It's not being put out at all.
I would have to say a slight oversight by the fire marshals. We normally get them on the site very quickly. There wasn't anybody on that side of the racetrack able to get to the car, and in fact a black flag and a red flag has been put out by the starter, meaning that practice has been stopped. The fire has been extinguished, but I would have to observe that it took a little longer than it should have done, and that of course could have caused trouble. Keep in mind that the driver is out of the car. There is no risk of injury to him, but nevertheless very expensive engineering and machinery has probably been quite badly damaged by the flames licking around it as long as they did.
So what were the positions when racing stopped, or rather when practicing stopped? Very interesting indeed, because Ayrton Senna, as I said, had gone round faster than the lap record. The lap record is 1 minute 20.79, Nigel Mansell. So Senna, 0.2 of a second faster, and he has only done 19 laps.
Well, by golly, we saw the Osella catch fire there a few minutes ago. This is what is left of the Osella as we stand in pit lane. Jackie Stewart, you're a bit critical of the fire marshals.
Yes, it did appear that there were a comedy of errors in a way. I think the first error was made by the driver. He actually didn't drive the car to a fire marshal's post, which he could have done. A more experienced driver would have done that. Secondly, he didn't stay with his car, he didn't switch off the electrics, and he didn't hit the fire extinguisher. However, from the organisational point of view, I have to say that there was no fire marshal's point on that side of the racetrack. It, of course, is said that it's on a straight, maybe there doesn't need to be one, but today proved that there had to be one there. And in fact, like all good things in Adelaide, action has since been taken, Mike, and they've now got a fire marshal's post on that side of the racetrack to look after a fire of this kind. But it was a long time before they got the fire out, and of course it could have had serious consequences. An awful lot of work for these mechanics, perhaps unnecessarily.
Okay, well, you talk of action, Jackie, and action has resumed in this, the first of this morning's untimed practice sessions. After that break, let's go back to it.
As practice is about to restart, and the much feared René Arnoux that you can see coming out in the Ligier will be the first on the track. I say the much feared because René Arnoux has been accused of having tunnel vision and a proclivity for driving into people. Well, he's all right at the moment. He's got a clear track in front of him as he's followed by Teo Fabi and Ivan Capelli. René Arnoux, ex-Ferrari man. Before that, he drove for Renault, and he started his Grand Prix career driving for John Surtees, actually, in the Surtees Grand Prix car. And Sunday will be his 126th Grand Prix, of which he's won 7. There is the Osella, car number 21, the spare car. It has a V8 Alfa Romeo engine in it, and because of the budget limitations of Osella, they really have to race on a shoestring. And that's what's left of the Osella which caught fire. It's probably not nearly as bad as it looks, because when they get it cleaned up, it'll be a lot better, but they will undoubtedly have to replace a lot of parts.